Welcome to the Content and AI podcast, where experts on artificial intelligence share their wisdom with the content community. Our mission is to demystify and democratize AI, to make its principles and practices accessible to all content practitioners. And now here's your host, Larry Swanson.
Welcome to the Content and AI podcast. This is episode number 0, an introduction to the show. This episode is just me talking about my intention and plans. Going forward, this will be conversations with experts on both AI and content practice and how folks are using AI in content. My intent with this podcast is twofold. One, to demystify the family of technologies and practices known as artificial intelligence. And two, to democratize the use of AI across the span of content use cases, everything from research and discovery to content creation and authoring, content design, content engineering, content operations, all that stuff that we do. I'll talk to folks in the AI field, of course, and at first that will be largely a bunch of old white guys, which in itself points to some of the data sampling and bias problems that AI practitioners face. But I'll also talk to a diverse range of content practitioners working in product content, support documentation, conversational design, website content, content marketing content, anyone who's adding AI to their digital content workflows, which is pretty much all of us at this point. We've already seen the applications of AI all over the place. Autocorrect and autofill in forms, digital assistants like Alexa, Cortana, Bixby, and Siri, search engines, social media feeds, personalized content in advertising on websites, digital products, recommendations from e-commerce merchants, robots on assembly line, fraud prevention in the financial world, drug discovery in the pharma world, medical diagnosis. And of course, we're seeing generative AI, these computer-generated text, images, videos, that stuff just flooding our inbox and social media feeds. So AI is already everywhere. And we'll go under the hood, or as they say in England, the bonnet. I'm recording this episode in London. We'll go under the hood, behind the scenes, to take a look at the scope of AI. That's part of my demystification intent. Not everybody agrees on the exact scope of what is and isn't AI, but we'll look at stuff like natural language processing, NLP, the foundation of conversational design. We'll kind of revisit that. That's been around for a while. We'll look at machine learning, the whole family of stuff. That's where the LLMs, the big large language models like ChatGPT come from. That's based on the statistical modeling of data and embeddings and vectorizations and all that fun stuff, and sort of statistical prediction of what kind of likely content is going to should come next. Those LLMs though are notoriously kind of stupid and ignorant, and so one of the other things we'll look at from the AI world is the notion of knowledge representation. This is technology that brings real world facts to the table. Things like the knowledge graphs and ontologies come into play here. We're already seeing folks augment their LLM workflows with technologies like retrieval augmented generation and stuff like that to add those real world facts to help prevent or address hallucinations and other problems that LLMs have. We'll also look, if it comes up, I'm not sure this will be a thing, but in terms of if it manifests as something of interest to content practitioners, because this might come in because it's kind of related to the business side of things. There's like neural networks, or like this sort of like this attempt to mimic the human brain and do like machine-based decision making. There's also expert systems, which have been around since the 70s, which is sort of more of human rules-based embodied systems. Anyhow, we may revisit some of that stuff, and also if it becomes relevant to content and AI, there's other AI technologies like computer vision and robotics, which it's not hard to imagine the need for content in those fields. I'm not sure exactly how that works now, but that's part of the intent. The curiosity is one of the things that drives this podcast. We'll also look a lot at AI ethics, and especially and kind of closely related to Silicon Valley hype around AI. You may have heard of Timnit Gebru. She's the AI researcher who was famously fired from Google for pointing out the shortcomings in their ethical approach to AI. So Timnit Gebru and Emily Bender have done a lot. They wrote together that paper on stochastic parrots, describing the shortcomings of LLMs. Another one of my early guests, one of those old white guys, a delightful and remarkably accomplished human being named Paco Nathan. He's going to help us look at the current state of AI through the lens of an industry veteran with like deep experience in the technical foundations of AI, as well as a ton of experience in the tech startup world. So anyhow, we'll always be trying to be balancing the tech hype, coming out of Silicon Valley. But at the same time, we can't and won't ignore that hype. Regardless of its merits, they've got the attention of executives and decision makers and the media. So we'll definitely keep an eye on the big players in the AI space, like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google's DeepMind, and all the other big companies yet to come, and show you how to best use their products, because they're doing a lot of I think we're all using open Chat GPT every day at this point. So we'll keep an eye on that. And finally, we'll keep on the radar screen this concept, this notion of artificial general intelligence, or AGI. We're probably decades away from that happening, but it comes up a lot. And this notion of sentient AI agents and stuff, we'll keep that in mind. But one little bit of perspective around that. One of the guests on my, and one of the inspirations for this podcast, actually, Katrina Kari, who's the lead ontologist at IKEA, said in that interview I did on the other podcast that, these LLMs and other AI technology to this point have done a really good job of getting the language part of human intelligence figured out. But that's it. There's a lot more to human intelligence than just language. So we'll keep AGI on the radar screen, but also that's part of the hype busting and myth busting around this, I think, is putting that in its proper perspective. But my main intent is to democratize this technology, this AI technology, and to help you as a content practitioner understand and use AI as expertly and efficiently as possible. We've already seen, we're all seeing this every day, and we're seeing it more every day, but some of the ways that AI can help content folks, like just in content creation, you think of any of us, and most of us come out, or many of us come out of creative writing or journalism or copywriting or other writing backgrounds, the terror of the blank page, or for a designer, the terror of a blank screen, a blank Figma frame, and you just give an AI a prompt about some general thing you're working on, and you get a starting point. Tedious stuff like outlining and research and all that stuff. The AI agents have already shown how they can help with that. So, some content creation and then content authoring, like getting this stuff into the systems we work with. AI can help with things like tagging, whether it's auto tagging or tagging assistance. They can help with, voice, tone, and style governance. And once you've created content, like as a content designer or other content person, helping create variants for anything from localization to brand variants, or whatever other versions of a content you need, as well as, and closely related to that, kind of the repurposing existing content for other uses, making the short version of a blog post for social media feeds or that kind of thing. AI can already help a lot in that kind of stuff. And then all the other stuff we do, like strategy formulation, content design, content engineering, content operations, any of the span across what we do, AI has shown it's going to help us, almost anywhere in the span of our practice. So no matter what kind of content work you do, you'll soon be, and probably already are, using AI in any number of ways. So anyhow, welcome to the Content and AI podcast. I and my guests are here to help you navigate this dynamic, kind of crazy new landscape, and to use AI effectively in your content work. If you're doing interesting work with AI and your boss will let you talk about it, DM me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to chat about how we might get you on the podcast or just learn from each other. So thanks for listening, and first episode's coming up later today.
For show notes and to sign up for our newsletter, visit our website at contentandai.com. And please rate and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for listening.